Debugging, testing, and code review with Claude. So here is the truth about coding. Building new stuff is maybe 20% of the job. The other 80% is fixing bugs, writing tests, and reviewing the code. Now, if Claude only helped you build, it would still be useful. But if Claude also debugs, tests, and reviews, it becomes the single best senior engineer you have ever worked with. And that's exactly what this session is about. 3 superpowers in one session: debugging with Claude, writing tests with Claude, and doing code review with Claude. Each one by itself saves hours per week. Combined, they change how you ship software. So let's walk through each in practical, copy-paste, ready detail. Debugging. Paste the error, ask the question. The debugging workflow with Claude is embarrassingly simple. Copy the error message or stack trace, paste it into Claude with any relevant code. Ask what's causing this and how do I fix it. Claude reads the error, usually identifies the root cause in one response, and often proposes a fix. If it's a subtle bug, Claude will ask clarifying questions or suggest what to log and rerun. The trick: give Claude enough context. Now that means the actual error message, not paraphrased, the code that produced it, not a description, what you expected versus what you got, and what you have already tried. A good prompt could look like: I am getting type error, cannot read property map of undefined on line 42 of this file. It happens when I load the page without query params. Now here is the function. I have tried defaulting to an empty array, but it didn't help. What's going on? That's an example of a good prompt. A bad prompt would be you copy the error and say it's broken. That doesn't really work. Now, the 2-version technique. For stubborn bugs, try this. Ask Claude to describe what the code should do without reading the code. Then ask Claude to describe what the code actually does by reading it. Now, the gap between those two descriptions is almost always where the bug lives. Let's talk about writing tests from zero to green. Now, testing is the most underused superpower of Claude code. Most developers don't write tests because writing tests feels tedious. Claude removes that friction. The workflow would be: point Claude at a module or a file, ask write a test suite for this, cover the happy path, the edge cases I might have missed, and the error handling paths. Use give it your test framework. What Claude does, it reads the code, identifies testable behaviors, and writes a test file. Usually 5 to 20 tests in one shot. Run them, most will pass. Some might reveal actual bugs in the code being tested, and that is a bonus, not a failure. The 3 levels of test generation. Unit tests. Now test this function straightforward. Integration tests. Test the full flow from HTTP request to database write for this endpoint. Regression tests. I just fixed this bug. Write a test that would catch this bug if it ever came back. And the last one is cold. Every time you fix a bug, spend 90 seconds adding a regression test. Your code base gets more robust with every fix. Next is code review. Claude code ships with a /review/ command that does structured code review on your current difference. Now think of it as a senior engineer reading your PR before you send it to your team. What it checks: bugs and logic errors, security concerns, style inconsistencies, naming issues, missing error handling, and test coverage gaps. You can also invoke review manually. Review this function, call out bugs, security issues, unclear naming, and edge cases I might have missed. The magic is that Claude reviews without ego. It doesn't care that you wrote it at 2 a.m. It does not have a favor quality. For anything touching auth, user input, or external run, this is a specialized review focused specifically on SQL injection, insecure deserialization, authentication flaws, permission checks, and so on. It's not a replacement for a real security audit, but it does catch 80% of the common mistakes before they ship. Refactoring, the hardest thing Claude makes easy. Now, refactoring used to mean understand the old code, understand the new shape, carefully rewrite while not breaking anything. Hours of work, high risk. Claude collapses this. Refactor this function, it's doing three things. Break it into three functions with clear names. Pull the common logic between two services into a shared helper. Or convert this class-based component to a functional component with hooks. Claude reads, plans, and applies the refactor. If you have tests, run them. They'll verify nothing broke. If you don't, write them first. Always test before refactoring. And the code review loop for teams. So here is a pattern I recommend for small teams. Engineer writes code. Before opening a PR, engineer runs or reviews on their own differences. Engineer fixes easy issues, Claude flags. Engineer opens PR for human review. Human focus on the hard questions, architecture, product fit, trade-offs. Now, this pattern roughly doubles PR throughput because humans stop wasting time on trivial style and logic issues. The trivial stuff gets caught before it reaches human eyes. Some of the anti-patterns to avoid would be three things to watch out for. Don't let Claude approve its own code. Always have a human verify the review and the fix. Claude is an assistant, not an auditor of last resort. Don't skip running the test. Claude said it works is not the same as it works. Run them. Don't trust security review blindly. It catches common patterns. Real security work still needs human judgment, and for high stakes code, a professional audit. And we are done. These are the things. Debugging is equal to paste error plus context plus question. Tests are easy. Review catches bugs, style issues, and security problems before PR. Security review is essential for anything handling user input, auth, or external data. Refactor fearlessly with tests first. And never let Claude approve its own code. These are some of the resources from Anthropic. Now, you have seen Claude Code as a builder, a terminal teammate, and a quality engineer. But here is what happens next. You want Claude to know your workflows, your file structure, your team's preference, your specific tools. And that's where skills, plugins, and MCP come in. And that's what is coming next.